Look at you. You look all studious. Richard's all there. Look at you. I know we're live, but we always give it a couple minutes. How's it going, buddy?
That's right. Hey. Good, man. Good. Little steamy over here in Pittsburgh. You know that.
I know. Well, I'm in Brigglesville, Pennsylvania, so I don't even know if you know where that is.
Yeah, I did a bodybuilding trip to Lehigh Valley College here, buddy.
All right. I think we're live now on all the channels.
Pennsylvania.
What's that?
Oh, I said it's the last exit before you get into New Jersey.
New Jersey. Oh, got out of there. All right. Hey, Rich, we talked earlier of a different subject today that we were going to talk about, and I like how we labeled it. Temp, the 4-letter word.
Oh, the temp, the 4-letter word. You can put that in so many different directions. Do not ever say temp. That's what this is all about. Everywhere I go, agencies say, I got 10 temp workers. I need 10 temps. Even companies say that. We need 30 temps. Yeah. They're not temps. Please stop saying that.
Yeah, when I was with Kelly Services, I literally would always say when the management, I said, no, they're associates. No, they're temps. No, they're associates. Mm-hmm. They're working. I did hate that word too, because Rich, I've got my last 3 jobs from, I was just about ready to say temporary agencies, staffing. I know.
It's just the tongue, just like that.
The temporary workforce, but that's how I got from a staffing agency, not temporary staffing. And the reasons we wanted to bring the subject up was it's a hard subject.
Mm-hmm.
You sent over some within all our areas, some reviews. Now,
yes,
as I always say, there's 2 sides of both stories. Because we're both on there. Majority of the reviews sometimes of the staffing agencies are not very good. And then some of them are. You get good candidates. So I want to go through a couple of them. All right. And then we'll talk about it.
Got it.
No matter what you say to me today, I'm going to stay calm.
You're going to stay calm, and I'm going to try to be low energy. It'll never
happen.
Low energy. Never happen.
I will not raise my voice. I'm going to talk about what we love to do.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, some of the reviews, like, my experience is recruiters are dishonest, often misrepresent themselves as a business on Indeed. That can go either way. I understand what they're saying there about on Indeed, but Indeed's not the one who's posting the jobs.
No, it's not. But I think some of the stuff, Dave, just right off the bat, is how we get a bad rap is poor communication. Know that. If you work with any staffing firm and you talk to, here we go, contract workers, please, let's get that, associates or contract workers. I like contract. And the reason why is because they are obligated like a contract. It's like a football. You can relate to sports on everything. It's a contract. They need to fulfill the contract to get a full-time job, right? And we're the job agent. We're not a recruiter. We're not a sourcer. I mean, if you're a sourcer, you're just throwing resumes out. You're recruiting, but you're a job agent. And right on, Dave. I mean, when you say contract, they're part of your workforce family, man. That's what they think.
It is, and that's why I told you about. That's where I told you about the company that had to turn down the proposal. But I read you what the general manager said to me, and that was. His vision was kind of like mine. He's like, they belong with us. They are our success.
Mm-hmm.
So that I did like. This next one is, you got to love some of these. I know. A lot of recruiting agencies are run like grind joints. Now, I think what they mean there is, it's like a high volume. They don't care their numbers. I think that's what
keyword burn and turn. I've worked for companies like that. I don't mention any names. Burn and turn. Throw them all out there because we need revenue. Well, you know what, guys and girls? It's not all about revenue. It's about finding the best candidate and helping out society. This is why we got a bad rap in staffing, is because we continue to do it. We continue to do it.
Over and over. It's like one of my bosses told me, she said, Dave, if we don't change now, she said, and she had left, and she's like, I guarantee you come back in 2 years, it's going to be the same old thing. And she's right. Nobody's willing to change. A lot of companies don't want to change.
They don't want to change. The thing that changes, though, is the workers. The recruiter's gone. The sales rep's gone. They rotate them every 6 months to a year, and they bounce somewhere else. So you never get a genuine feel with the person you want to keep a relationship with, No, you don't. And that's what's hard, because some of these next ones, I really went through this. I could not believe the top reasons. This is amazing. So this one is, let's see. Okay. Agree and disagree. All right. I love to this topic. I've dealt with many staffing agencies over the years. The best jobs I've had certainly did not come through an agency. Okay. I remember a professor in college telling a class that a great company would never use a middleman, but rather do all the hiring themselves. Well, times have changed. Yes.
There's probably a professor. I mean, that could have been 10, 15 years ago. Yes. I don't know. I've been doing this for about 15 years. So 20 years ago, I don't remember staffing companies that much for myself.
No. And this day and age, I mean, not because we're in the industry, people need guidance. I mean, I talk to people, if you're doing it by yourself and trying to find a job, it's tedious, it's long hours, you get frustrated. I mean, that's where we come in. So staffing firms, if I can give you any tips today, we're trying to put out fires on people that are frustrated. When they come to you, they're going to be a little bit of a chip on their shoulder maybe and question you because they got burnt in the past. We have to help out. But the thing is, though, we got to be longer than a minute on the phone too, right, Dave? I mean, me and you talk to 45 minutes to an hour to each candidate probably,
It is. And
it's communication.
This, it said, let's see. Oh, recruiters are not much different than used carsmen. I was like, wow. I'm not a carsman. I'm like, or a salesman. I'm like, come on, we're not that bad. I don't think. Wow.
No,
they know, but now I'm going to give this one credit. They're like, they often know virtually nothing about the position they are hiring for, and they could care less about you. Now, I agree and disagree with that slightly, because you're right. There are a lot of recruiters that don't know, and I'll admit it. Listen, you give me an IT position or you give me something that I don't know, a medical, wow, I'm not going to sit there and give advice, or I better either learn it or find somebody that does. Simple.
You're right.
Logistics, I know. Direct hires, like management. I mean, that's my specialty, and yours also. But I don't know. I agree with both of what he's saying there. Well,
you can't do everything. When you talk to staffing firms, and Dave, and even though we're a little bit on staffing firms today, when they say I can place anybody, you can't place everybody. You don't have the expertise for everything. No. And then when you say I want to outsource and go overseas to recruit, I mean, I hate to say it, overseas recruiting, offshore recruiting. I dealt with it before in previous jobs. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, they think is 1 mile apart, and it's a long way apart. I mean, they don't get the geographics right when they send you candidates. So there we go. You're paying for a cheap rate to just send bodies. And what do you get out at the end? Bad business.
Bad business. And you brought up a subject there. I'm going to bring this up. So I was on LinkedIn, and I Googled recruiters just to see overseas, right? And I didn't know they're actually listed like recruiters for Walmart, recruiters for all the top companies. Who they recruit for. I didn't know that. I didn't know that a lot of the companies that I'm right online with, they're utilizing the companies from overseas. I didn't know that. Not all of it.
But here's what we got to talk about is the candidate. The candidate most of the time it's an email. They never talk to the person live. They just send up. They're like, I'm getting a call from Walmart. I never even applied for a job. See what I mean? It's all about mass production. It comes back to one thing: communication. Are we opening up the phone lines or the video lines? I mean, this is what we got to do. I mean, bottom line is you got to communicate.
This one here, I picked out the yes and no's. No one is completely unqualified and not trainable. Yes, I agree. The companies have become greedy and cheap with its labor, and that's the truth. Now, yes, I believe this one. I really, truly believe no one is completely unqualified, not trainable, because we've talked about that before. What you want and what's out there now, you better really start rethinking about training people, because that, I don't know about you, but when I was working, and I don't want to say back in the day, but we did a lot of training.
You're right.
That was it. New person, they trained them.
You're right.
I don't know, but the part, I want you to answer this. I want you to answer this one. The companies have become greedy and cheap with its labor, and that's the truth. That's what one of them.
Oh, companies went cheap. Oh boy. You know, I can go around and around with this, Dave. I mean, you know, the approach is we talked about this. We turn companies away,
right?
But then we go back. At the end of the day, guess where they call? They call us because they know they can't get any production from somebody else. You pay for what you get. So like I always say at the end of the day, you want cheap labor. I mean, you know it out in your way, like who's going to work for $10 an hour in a general labor job? I mean, rate's got to be $12, $14, $16, $18 an hour. I mean, you can make more money working at a McDonald's instead of a hard labor job. I mean, we have to come up to times, you know? And I think talking to companies like that, we have to educate them. That's the big thing, educating.
And that's why I like the supply and demand report that I bring with me, and I post it all the time. It's not so much. It's not so much that the temp agency is just saying this. It's right there. It's the statistics on Indeed, Career Builder. It will show you how many jobs are posted and how many people are applying for work and off the labor industry. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good insights. You know,
exactly.
It gives you an idea. And they know that.
You're right. And if they're not going to pay the value, then us as a staffing firm have to move on. I mean, you know, and the workers, they'll hear what's on the streets. I mean, everybody knows what companies are good, what companies are bad, what cultures are good, what cultures are bad. And that's us as being a job agent and also helping them out to get a job, to tell them the truth. Honesty, which we're going to be probably tying in a little bit later. Honesty, you can't tell them it's a temp to perm job, which I hate to say, it's a contract to perm job, and then it ends in 2 weeks. And they know that. I've had that happen to me. A million candidates come to me and they're like, man, they lied to me. They lied to me. Dave, I had 2 people yesterday call me up and they said they worked for, once again, I'm going to say it, the big box. And they said it was a temp to perm, which I said, no, it's a contract to perm. And they started giggling. Yeah, that's what I call it. I said, when you're with me, you're with me forever, man. That's how it is. But guess what? After 2 weeks, they lost their job.
I know.
And they talked to the company, and the supervisor said, we ordered 20 temps for 2 weeks. That's it. Well, they're all looking like, no, we thought we were going to be here for like 6 months and then get a full-time job. And guess what they do? They said, well, we got another job cutting grass for $3 less. You can go on that till we find you something else. Now, where is the human connection or the loyalty after that? I mean, you're playing with people's money, their lives. It's bad, Dave.
I know.
Go ahead. I know you want to say something, Dave. I know you want to say something.
No, because when you said that, listen, I'm just being straight up honest. And when I entered the staffing world, there was when I started to learn recruiting, that people would say, oh, don't ever tell them it's a 3-week assignment because you won't hire somebody. Just say it's temp to perm. Okay. So now you have, I get that, but I believe sometimes if you're just more honest, say, listen, we might have some other openings coming up, but this is only going to be for like 2 to 3 weeks. Leave it up to them.
Get you through. Yep.
Yeah.
Get you through. Maybe you have a couple bills to pay. I can get you on the payroll, and then something else is going to open up. I'm going to take you off that, or it'll be over with, and we're going to get you something else. At that point, they're trusting you, man. They know when that last day of that temp job is over with, they're not calling you up and cussing you out and all this. And then guess what? Guess what the recruiters do? They disappear, man, like a ghost.
It is.
And ghost all the candidates. And they send an invoice to the company and says, well, thank you for your service and goodbye. How do we do business this way? I don't know how you do it.
That's where the reviews come out. That's where they start putting those reviews on. And sometimes there's nothing I can say about it. Now, these next couple, this gentleman here doesn't understand. And some of them I'm going to put, he was saying how, the agency got him the job. He worked there for 2 weeks. The customer said, hey, we'd want to hire you, but we have to buy the contract out, which is the 600 hours, he said. He's like, what kind of blank, blank, blank is this? So he left because he couldn't wait. But he doesn't understand that that's the way companies make revenue. The 600 hours. Like if he worked 200 hours, they bill the client the 400 remaining hours. And
exactly,
that's because they like the person. That's a good thing.
Exactly. And I think that situation probably would be something like, he probably needed health care. And, you don't get that when you're a contract worker. But then again, there's that case-by-case basis where myself, and I know you would too, Dave, go negotiate with the company and say, you know what, we'll keep him on the payroll. Can you throw him maybe the health benefits a little bit earlier? Or can it start from the day that he was a contract worker? You know what, I've had it happen, and companies work with me on that. They're like, it's a great worker. We don't want to lose this person. How can we not lose this person?
Right.
Here we go again. What's the key word, Dave? Communication. Nobody talks to the company about that. They just let this guy drift away after they did all the work, and he went to another agency and probably is very upset, or probably just said, forget about staffing altogether. We're working with anybody like that.
Because they say you're always all the same. And I get that frustration, but this next one, let's see.
Oh my.
All of this is so stressful. I miss when people could just walk into companies, speak to someone about a job, people who actually cared, and utilize the HR department. Let me breathe. Now, I do agree with those days. You did go to the companies. You did. But you also didn't have everything that's going on. You have to have security now. I mean, logistics centers, most of the bigger centers have to have security because you can't just have people walking in. I mean,
not at all.
I agree with that part. Nope, go ahead.
Times are changing, and I think people have to change to the the times. I mean, we have to. I know walking into places 20 years ago, you can do that. You can't do that now. You got to have a preset appointment before you go in. I mean, and some people don't. They don't want change, so that's what happens.
That was customer service. Yep, that was customer service back then.
You're right. Yep.
Now the part about utilizing the HR, I hope HR people like me, because HR representatives, here we go, should not be recruiters. HR need to be scaring the hell out of the employees like me, because whenever HR would call you in the office, it wasn't to say, hey, Dave, you're doing a great job. It was either you're doing something wrong. That was it. It was never, hey, it's good to have you.
Right.
They close that friggin' door. You're scared. Uh-oh. Hey, we're going to give you a raise. No. But my point is, every HR around here, Rich, in Lehigh Valley, they're the people that you have to reach out to. HR, they're busy enough. They have enough to do. They need to handle people problems. Now, unless I'm wrong in those areas where you're at in Pittsburgh, but HR to me is your human resources management. That means I bet if they went to college, they were not told, oh, you're going to be a recruiter too. You're going to do all the audits too. You're going to hold all the meetings and take the notes too. You're going to do the safety also. Oh, yes. And we want you. I'm sorry, but they're up. I see it on LinkedIn. Here we go. I see it on LinkedIn until 12 o'clock at night. Some of the HR, you can message them. Hey, how's it going, Diane?
Exactly. I mean, they're overworked. We know that. HR is overworked. And this is something, everybody goes into a company, you feel like the HR is a little bit on the edge. I can feel for them. I can feel for them why they're on the edge. We're there trying to say we can supply a service to help them out, and they got like a bunch of resumes. They got a manager saying we need more production. You got somebody that's missed work. It needs to be possibly is fired. I mean, when does it stop? They don't have time to breathe. And when and here's something else I want to tell sales reps in the staffing industry. When HR people don't get back to you, there's a reason why. Maybe they don't want your service, or also they're busy. Did you ever think that you call HR 30 times a week and you're thinking, well, they won't answer their friendly voicemails. They have a million hats. I'm sticking up for HR right now and saying,
I know.
are busy, guys. They are busy. The guys and girls in HR, God bless you all. I'll tell you what, straight up, that's a tough job.
It is, because why would I want to be bombarded? Like, we have a new company, some juice company, Sun Group or some opening up, right? I saw it last night introduced. I was like, I even put on there, oh, here we go. Every staffing agency's on there right now. They're probably Googling it right now in Bethlehem, everybody. They're all the staffing companies. I already beat them, though, because I did a lot. They're all probably going after them with emails. I just did it in a different way. I bet they're bombarded. Oh, sorry. No, we don't use staffing. Nope. Wow. Give them a breath.
I met with a company about 2 years ago, Dave. I met with the lady, and she said in one day, 14 staffing firms reached out to her in one day. She showed me the emails, phone numbers. She says this one kid won't quit. He's blowing the phone up, dropping off like flowers and gifts. I'm thinking, really? That's not going to solve a problem of your workforce, giving gifts. That's nice maybe after you build a relationship, but giving gym bags out, stuff like that, just with your logo on, it's really not a good branding idea either. It's really not. I'm telling you straight up, like it or not, it's not a good branding idea to give golf balls with logos on them and whatever you want.
I know, right?
Business first, right?
Vista print. All right. This next one is an educational one for some of the employees, candidates, associates. Temp services, let's say the company pays a full-time employee $18 an hour for a certain job. That is what a temp service gets, and pays the temp employees $12. There, they don't really understand that the markup. No. They don't understand that the markup. Yes, that is true. $4, but $4 once you, I don't even have to tell you, $4 when you take up your markup, your burden cost. That's an educational thing. That's something that some companies don't, some candidates do not understand.
Well, a lot of candidates, we have to educate them on that, Dave. And if they ask me, I'll tell them. I won't, if they ask and say, hey, how do you make money? I said, the company pays me. I say, I got to cover your workers' comp, your insurance. I'm doing all this. Then they realize that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, I've seen it before where candidates say, hey, the company says, that's none of your business. Well, that's not good either, because you're working for this company. You give them some information. Let's not all be shady here. Let's be honest and open, and we all can make a great living. That's what it's all about, right?
Right. And then I get asked that all the time. Nope, I get asked it all the time, and I used to, sometimes I would explain it. Oh, you make a lot of money when you get this person. I'm like, I just breathe. I'm like, it's okay, But this one here, now, whoa, this is when I said no. Let's see. Oh my God, I can't stand placement agencies. Placement agencies, I like that. They blow smoke. Okay. They blow smoke up your behind, making it sound like there's a good matching job, only to be told after taking that stupid assessments and passing them, been there, done that, the job has been filled. They don't hear back from you. It's such a scam. They're just taking people to really get their resumes. It's not about your skills, education, experience. It's who you know. Sadly, all I can do is keep applying over and over. Now, that's frustration. You can tell.
That is frustration. And I can see, you know what, Dave? And that is the truth. That one there is true. I've seen it. Yeah. I was a manager. I've seen recruiters that I had to let go because of this. No follow-ups, not calling back, trying to get your numbers real quick. I feel frustration for that. Here's the thing is, though, Dave, we do all this work with the candidate to build them up to that point. Why would we let them go to find a new candidate? Why? When you did all that work, it's like you have a football player. You have a player on your team. It's ready to go into the game. And you're like, well, I'll just let that player on the side and start with a new one. Why would you do that?
Same thing.
Tell me that.
And I look at that, and then when I say that it's such a scam, some of those testing that I wish we could educate clients is those personality tests, and then sometimes they'll have 4 to 5 tests that they have to do. I got that. And their hiring process to get your agency into them could take a week and a half, because by the time you get a hold of them, the time HR gets back to you, again, not their fault, but you keep calling saying, they want to know if they're starting. Well, we're going to start them in 2 weeks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Now you got to call that employee.
Yes.
And say,
Done
guess
it.
what?
Done it.
You've been there.
Exactly. Here's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't follow up with, and I do big time, is call them the night before and tell them, hey, you ready for your, when the assignment starts? Nobody calls. Please, after 5 o'clock, pick up your phone at 7 o'clock. You know, if you have a work phone or not. I'm telling you, the best hours to work in the evening from 5, after 5 o'clock till about 8:30, people pick up their phone, candidates. That's the best prime time, you know, so. But no, following up with a call and say, hey, you're going to start tomorrow. So that's why when you have 20 people and only 5 show up, 5 forgot, we got to hold them accountable, right? I mean, we're the coach and they're the player. We got to coach them. That's what we're part. That's part of the recruiting process.
All right, you're the coach. I'm the mentor. Now, I'm sorry, you got me there, because this is a prime example. You know, again, I'm being fair on both sides.
Oh, yes.
You have a company, you know, you got 5 recruiters. You get an order on a Thursday. Hey, we need 25 people by tomorrow or Monday. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know, they have 2 other staffing agencies there or whatever too. You work hard. You get those background checks. You call them in. You get them in there. You get those screens, everything done. You are passed. You just spent all that money. And then the next stinking day, you get the email or something saying, oh, we don't need them now to start for about 3 days.
Yeah.
What if I was a company now, and I don't care, here you go, you're going to get me, I don't care. I would find something for those employees to do, some of them. If you know it's only 1 or 2 days, I would pay them just a slightly, I would say, employee, listen, you're only going to make $11 an hour right now to clean. You're going to do something.
Exactly.
Because then you would have that candidate, because now I know what happens. The client filled it from another staffing company, the one that was probably subcontracted out. I'm sorry, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
But when the big A, it's a big staffing company, starts with an A. I never say their name. But when they go ahead and they suck up all these freaking companies in the damn Lehigh Valley for 42%, and then they sub it out to freaking 8 staffing companies for 32. Wow, they're making 8%. Oh, we're broke even. But now, guess what? If they fill it first, they'll take it. Oh, we don't need them now. That's what pisses me off. And it pisses me off because it makes me spend money, the staffing company.
Yes.
The employee, you just took that employee and you might as well throw him out the door, because now you don't have any job. Now you got to call him because he told you the other day he's just gotten married or something that you wanted to help that person. Mm-hmm. And then, oh, they don't have the job. Come on. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm venting about that, but that's on both sides.
No, I totally agree with that, Dave. I mean, we got to be, we got to be upfront. And you know what? And that's at the point when you tell the company it's push and shove. You know, you can't let the companies push you around too, because you're like, oh, I don't want to say anything because I'm scared I'm going to lose the contract.
Nah.
Hey, no way. No way. At the end of the day, they need us as much as we need them. Remember that.
Yes.
They actually need us more. I'm going to tell you straight up, they need us more, Yes. But, it's that big brother, big sister relationship you got to have, Yes. And you got to be not scared to send messages out that might be a little bit bold, abrasive, but you know what? It gets to the point, right, Dave? I mean, if it gets to the point, it solves a problem, right?
Right.
But if you go wishy-washy through the whole thing, you're going to say, oh, they're just, burn and turn. Meanwhile, you're losing all these candidates because you're not being proactive and holding up your own end. I mean,
and it makes you feel like a total ass. I'm sorry. Excuse my language, but it makes me feel that way because I get mad. Rich, I just turned down a 1 point something account.
I know.
For a lousy 4%, 4 to 5%. Now, he was I told you, that general operations manager, I will see him again. He is such a man and he knows the game. But his hands are tied. He knows the solution. But for a lousy 4 to 5%, how the hell is it working for you now when you got 6 agencies in there and you can't fill it?
Here's what it comes down to, Dave. The people on the streets are like me, you. Every day we're out there. We know what the workforce is like. But when you have people in a boardroom, here we go. I'm going to go this way. When you have in a boardroom, they've never been on the streets. They come up with ideas that are like ideas that doesn't exist. Am I saying that right? I'm going to say this the right way, slowly, but yeah. And you know what? Yeah. Till you're on the streets and walking in the steps of a recruiter, job agent, or whatever you want to call us, you don't know what the other side's like. You don't know how these candidates, what they're going through, their lifestyle, their backgrounds, everything. I mean, you just want to say, well, we need 40 people. We need this job description, which is like a purple squirrel description. Come on. I mean, really? I mean, we have to go and tell them, HR, to like, you need to change your job description. And I've done that before. Say, hey, this is not going to work. You're never going to find a candidate with this job description,
Nothing. And that's where it comes into the next person. I only got like 3 more. Okay. Recruiters, the most jobs. All right, they take a legitimate recruiter. That one's really not. The staffing company's agency collect all the resumes just to have the resumes. So in case people call, and they'll only hire so many out of that. I get that because I told you.
I've seen it. I've seen it before. It's collecting data like we talked about before. You have 1.2 million, candidates in your database. I've seen people say that in board meetings and like, well, how many are live? How many has a heartbeat? Maybe 20, right? I don't want to collect resumes, Dave.
You don't have. I told you before. I've told people it's tedious, but when I went back to Career Builder, they sent me my bill again. They told me my service was going to be cut off on hold if I didn't pay by next week. They know me. I said, I'll pay my bill. I'll pay my bill the day before. Anyway, that's right. All the subject. Damn it. But I've paid for them. So what Taylor did was you can copy. It didn't matter what positions they were that they applied for that I had for the year. Mm-hmm. They went ahead. She did 25 at a time, right? Didn't matter what position, and saying, hey, we just opened back up. Listen, we don't have these jobs right now, but we need your help. If you are interested, please check out our new website. We just need candidates to find clients. I'm telling you, and the video resumes they uploaded, again, I think we're up to over 86 people now that have responded saying, thank you. I did find a job, but thank you for keeping me informed. So I use that as a database.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It was tedious.
But look, it's going to pay off in the end, right?
Right, because I was honest.
It's getting your name out there, too.
Yes.
Big time honesty.
2 more here. I think Indeed should make... Now, this one you're going to like, I think, because it's in your area.
Gotcha.
I think Indeed should make recruiters display their recruiting agency before they apply to a job. It's misleading. I always get my jobs directly from the company.
Yeah, I agree. I think the name should be on there. I think both. I mean, it is what it is, I mean, you see the Staffing Shark logo everywhere. It should be, if I'm partnered with Pepsi or Coke or whoever, these are all my partnerships. I mean, I think it should be on our websites too. If you're going to post a job that says welding job, and then you talk to the recruiter and they're like, well, it's over here. And I'm not really going to tell you the name until I get to know you better. You lost that candidate. You know that. You lost that candidate. Me, if I talk to you for 20 minutes and I got you hooked like the shark would do, I'm telling you the name. I'll say, I'm going to tell you the company name. I'm going to give you information to go review it. Review it before you call me back. Why are we hiding information from candidates? That's where the trust comes at. They don't trust us. They don't. They don't trust us at all. I mean,
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said, I have to go down and dig deep in. And, after about 2 days, they're like, man, I love you. You've never, and this is not me just patting myself on the back. Maybe it is a little bit, but I'm genuine with everybody because I love them all. Because I said, once again, like we say on every episode, without you and without me, we don't have a job. We're both unemployed, right?
Right. And I understand. Listen, I've been in high volume and I know what it's like. Phones ringing, people walking in the door, appointments. You don't have. That's where, oh God, here we go again. No, that's where this brainy idea come in, where companies come in and they'll sit there and say to you as when you were the branch manager, market manager, whatever that crap is, and they say, let's just cut back the receptionist. Get rid of her. We can't afford her. Yep. What? Are you kidding me? Customer service. I'm like,
and that's your front line, Dave. That's your front line.
I know.
Here we go to football. That's your most important person. know, that's the
rotate your
through the door.
Rotate your recruiters around so when people walk in the door,
Hey, that's like a quarterback. We don't need a center. You just grab the ball yourself and jump, run back, right? Tom Brady would be great if he didn't have a center, right?
Yeah. And instead of coming up with ideas to actually, this is where I told you before, we all get these meetings, right? And this is in staffing, and I'm sure it's in clients also, companies. They all have the meetings, and you come up with these brainstorm ideas, and I'm sure they're doing the same. But that was a good voice. This is just us trying to educate people of both sides.
Exactly.
So they can hear what we're saying, and maybe I doubt we're going to hear what they say. But when you're in there is a lot of ways that really you can cut expenses. There's a way.
You're totally right. Yes.
And I'm going to give you one little example, just one little. I had a great boss that didn't care as long as I showed results, right? Just do what you have to do, save money. So let's just say in office supplies. On our lunch breaks, we'd all go down. You go to a dollar store, $5, you buy your pens, all your supplies. But then, no, corporate comes out. You have to buy from, I don't know what the hell store it was online that they have a thing was, anyway, the name of the company. You had to buy from them. And I'm like, well, tissue paper cost $15, right? For a case. And then dollar store, it's $5 or something like that. Same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's pennies, but it added up on the P&L. It adds up.
Yes, it does. It's common sense. Why would you do that? I mean, it is. It's sad. But all companies are doing that now. They're giving us, flyers. Everything's got a logo on it. Everything. Your tablet paper and everything like that. Do you really need necessities for logo on your tablet paper? But you see what they're doing, Dave. It's a store, a company store that it's a kickback. You know what I mean? It's a write-off for the company. That's what it comes down to. You know that, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah. And then I was told not to worry about that stuff by the next boss. What do you mean not to worry about?
Well, it affects your P&L. When I was a branch manager, my profit and my commission, it was affected by more toilet paper I used,
That's the funny thing. You had a budget. Okay. You're bought the first boss. Wow, this is great. You're under. Look at that. That's because you went out of your way. On your way home, you'd stop and do something. You would do it. You didn't. You know what I mean? You did what it takes. Everybody did, and everything was great. But then you were told, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about stuff like that." Whoa. All right, but you learn.
It all adds up in the end, though. Then nickels and dimes adds up to dollars.
All right, one more, and then we'll call it a show. Whew, I can remember back in the 90s. I'm not going to touch that one because that tells my age. A lot of them, and this is the final one here because it's a good one, is a lot of them, they'll say to come in, they have the jobs, and then they don't.
Yes.
We have 100 job openings. They go, and there's not 100 job openings.
Totally agree, Dave. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. They waste a person. Maybe it's the last bit of gas they have. They waste their time. They have to get a babysitter.
Yes.
Here we go again. Honesty. It comes down to that stuff. You know what? When you lie to a candidate or you don't tell them the truth, which a lot of recruiters think they're telling the truth. They think this is how they're taught. Never refuse anybody. Take everybody in. Collect the data. And you know what? I've been in offices before where there's files where they haven't went through candidates for like 6 months. And then somebody calls on the phone and they're like, yeah, we're processing your resume. No, you're not. It's been sitting there on the floor for 5 months. How do you tell somebody that with their hopes up when they get off the phone that you're going to call them tomorrow with the job?
Right. It is.
I mean, it's crazy. Hey, Dave, real quick before we go, buddy, I want to run across a couple real. Talk about poor communication. Another one that is a killer for staffing agencies, mass messaging. They blow the phone up on candidates. Some of them just email after email. We're talking 3-4 a day. Come on, guys. I mean, you do it for the trying to get jobs. You're doing it for the candidates. This spamming everybody is no good. It's not.
And I agree. Let's see. There's Kim again. Hi, Kim. Boy, she came on late today, but this was a good discussion, Kim. You would have liked a lot of it.
Yeah, that's a big one, Dave. And one more, a couple more. Over-promising And I have a little thing here. I got my glasses on, so I'm looking. Turnover and relationships. I mean, we covered all these, but over-promising, turnover, and relationships get a bad rap. So, I mean, these are things that the industry needs to work on big time. And hopefully someday we can put stuff together and everybody's working together tight on this.
And that's what I mean is about just being honest with the client, honest with the candidates. I just feel, I don't know if I feel because I'm in my own company now or, I've told you that before, you struggle with it because decisions you made years ago, there's a lot of great recruiters. There's people that really I've met, and you have too, that really, really care. You see it on LinkedIn and all over. They work hard. They'll go that extra mile for people.
They will. They will.
And they remember it. They remember it, the candidates.
The candidates remember that. And I always say incentives too. Something, and I'm going to throw out there that I do. I haven't done it recently because of the COVID-19 is Amazon gift cards. Subway cards. Just go into a factory and drop about 10 off, $5 a piece. That's $50 out of your pocket. Just giving them to people for doing a good job, showing up for work. Right. I just appreciate you. The next sub is on me. You know how long that goes? A long way. Instead of having a raffle or something, give everybody something small to say, I appreciate you. You're part of my workforce family. I'm going to end it on that workforce family, man.
Workforce
use
family.
That word. I use that all the time. A hug, a half embraced hug, or a handshake or a fist pump, whatever we can do now. People appreciate that. And you know what? I get the biggest smile from the workers like, man, I love you, dude, man. You really made my day. I had a tough last night with my family, but you really appreciate my work, man. I'm going to work harder for you. I'm not going to quit because of you.
And look at Kim. Like Kim even says that. Kim's like, that does feel good. And she's right. It really takes. And again, I go back to, and we'll end it here is, I just want to help people. And I want to help educate some of the companies now because I can say from experience. And when I see companies struggling, knowing that I could pull out 75 people in a week or two, easy. And I'm not saying that to be ignorant. I'm not saying that, Rich, to be cocky or anything. It's because when I showed Taylor today, wait till I show you this, some of the new stuff that I've learned that makes it personable, it'll blow your mind. And what you get back from it is irreplaceable. The people if you respond to them, they come back.
They do.
My percentage was low. It was down 15%. I wasn't answering within 4.2 hours. Yeah.
Is that great? And you know what?
Yeah.
You could talk off subject too. If you're talking to somebody about like a machine operator and you see on the resume fishing, talk about fishing a little bit. Open up the conversation. Yeah. Don't be a robotic and say, well, I got 7 questions I'm going to ask you. I hate when they say a number. Well, we're going to go through 1 through 7. And I've been interviewed like that before too. I'm like, what? What are we doing here? Is that an SAT? Come on, really?
It's the same questions. And Tesla, I could say their name. Tesla was a great, company to interview with that we had to do. It was like 12 questions, but this is what it was like. So here's your resume, right? We'd sit down. Now, I didn't understand at first. So I'd be like, okay, resume. Okay. Now, Tesla came out with these great questions just about you. Not even, I said to the person, I'm not even going to look at your resume. No. Right. And I'd ask them questions. They said, like, what do you like to do on your off time? Talk to me about your family. And before the end of the interview, you knew everything about me and I knew everything about you.
Isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what it's all about? What can you bring to the table? How can we help each other to be productive, right? We're not robots here. We're human connection. I say it all the time, Dave. Human connection is all we need. This is not rocket science. This is simple
because
stuff.
They would laugh at the questions. It would be like, this one question I loved. If I was to go out and talk to your friends right now, what do you think they would say about you? Well, if I told them, my wife would say I'm OCD, I complain too much, tit for tat. I won't let things go about my former company right now. She'll go all over the place. But it's funny because it just makes that person, I said the same thing. They opened up. Right there, you got your answers of what kind of person. I finally realized you opened the person up and you didn't look at the resume. Besides video resumes, which we always say are good.
Exactly.
Yes, but back in the day, we were taught not to talk about our personal. Correct.
Back in the day, that has totally changed now. Totally changed.
You're right, because of HIPAA with medical, I always tell people, they would interview with me. They would tell me something. I'd say, let me just give you a little suggestion. Stop. No, you don't. I don't want to hear this stuff. That's not, you want to learn not to say those things in an interview because people, unconscious bias, they will say, whoa, we all got things wrong with us. I'm nuts.
Nuts.
I'm crazy, man. Yeah, I take 12 different medications.
Really?
12 different medications. I don't know, injections but the point there is Kim is correct. You didn't say things. You cannot say things now that maybe you could have said years ago.
Oh no, you got to be tight-lipped on a lot of things. Yes, totally agree.
Your language, and I had one gentleman. I'll let you go. This one guy, he comes back from an interview, and why didn't I get it? And I really thought he was going to get it. I really pushed for him. I spent 4 hours. And when I found out why, I said, maybe it's because you shouldn't have said you had a DUI. And you don't have your license for another couple of months. In an interview. I'm not saying that would have disqualified you, but there's some things. I'm sorry. He was a great candidate. He made a mistake.
I know.
Never would have. Everybody's done something in their lives. But when you say something like that in an interview, oh, man.
I know. That's why we got to prep them for the interview and say, stay on course, right?
Yeah. So, all right, Kim, thanks a lot. Kim was our guest, but I know we have a lot of people that watch it.
Hey, Kim, thanks a lot for watching today. And like I say all the time, Dave, love yourself so you can love everybody else around you.
All right. Now, mine's staffing done differently. That's my motto. Staffing done differently. And we'll talk tonight later on what subject we'll do tomorrow. But we're going to try to get on like a steady time. This way we can always say we're just trying to do the works of it right now, me and Rich, and trying to see what time works for both of us so people can tune in and ask some questions and we can get more people involved. So
exactly. And we'll have a PDF or something up in a couple of days about the temp of why not to use the temp word. I'll work on something like that. We got to. The 4-letter word got to stop, right?
The 4-letter word. So 4-letter word. That was a great that was a great thing, the 4-letter word, because I'm like, oh, I know your brain. I know what you were saying.
When I say temp, I just go like this. One more time and go, temp. Oh, my God. Strangle me. Temp. No. It's contractor associates.
That's it. So,
remember that. Contract associate.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, Kim, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy.
All right, let's make sure this is off. Make sure. Here we go. And